Today we're checking out this S&B Cold Air Intake with Oiled Cleanable Cotton Filter for the 2020 and newer 6.6 liter gas Sierra 2500 HDs. If you want quicker throttle response, a bit more intake sound, and a cleaner look under the hood, this kit is a simple bolt-on that is definitely worth looking into. The key features here start with a closed air box that pulls cooler air and shields the filter from engine heat, but the bonus of a clear viewing window to see your filter. This is convenient for checking on your filter, but also just looks really sweet when you pop the hood to show off your engine bay to your friends. This kit uses S&B's oiled washable cotton filter, so you can clean it, re-oil it, and then run it again. This is gonna save you big money in the long run on buying those paper filters every time you need to service it. Now, moving on to this intake tube is gonna give you a straighter path for the air to get to that throttle body for even better response. Folks move to a setup like this when the stock box feels choked up after adding some tow gear or larger tires that might be slowing the truck down, or when they want a little more growl when they step on that gas. No tune is gonna be required, drivability stays stock smooth, and the maintenance is gonna be simple over time. When it comes to the construction on this, you're getting a durable, heat-resistant intake assembly with a sealed air box, a smooth intake tube, a high-temp silicone components rated up to 400 degrees, and the red oiled cotton filter that sits tight in the air box to keep out dirt, and some quality clamps and couplers are gonna be included to simplify the install process. As far as the pricing goes on this, it's coming in right in the upper $300 price range. For a name brand intake with a reusable filter, a sealed box, a clear viewing window, and a really strong look under the hood, this is a strong value if you want real gains over stock without going too overboard. When it comes to the install on this one, it's gonna get rated just a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. And you can get this job done in 1 hour of your time, or even less if everything goes smooth. Now let's head on out to the shop, and we're gonna give you a detailed walkthrough of exactly how this install process goes.
For this install, you will need an impact, an extension, T15 and T20 sockets, short and long 4mm Allen sockets, a 1/4 inch socket, 7, 8, and 10mm sockets, flat and Phillips head screwdrivers, a clip removal tool, a 19mm ratchet wrench. Today we're going to be installing an intake on our Sierra, so let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we're going to need to do is get our upper radiator shroud out of the way. In order to do that, we need to remove our hood release handle that's held on by 2 T15 Torx screws. So we've got our T15 Torx bit on our impact. We'll pop those off. We'll get our 2 T15 Torx screws out. Then your handle simply slides out. Now, I do recommend, once you get your handle off, to just put your screws right back in their spots so you can keep track of them. Like that. So our shroud itself is held in by push clips all around it, so we're going to grab our clip removal tool to pop these out. If you don't have a clip removal tool, you can use a small flathead screwdriver. Get these popped out. Work our way around. We do have some tucked up in these corners over here. And once you have all of your clips out, you can pull up on your shroud and remove it. Next, we're going to remove the push clip holding our inlet tube for our air box. That's going to allow us to move it out of the way when we need to. So again, with our clip removal tool, just want to pop this clip out. Be careful not to drop it in there. Just like that. It's fine, we'll grab it when we get our air box. So now from here, we're going to kind of pull up and out. This is going to separate it from the air box, just like so. We don't need to fully remove this at all. We just need to pull it out of our lower air box, so now it's nice and free. So So next up, we're gonna disconnect our mass airflow sensor, and we're also gonna loosen our clamp to our air box from our intake tube. So to disconnect our sensor, we're gonna pull back on this red safety tab, push down on our latch, unplug that, and we'll just move that out of the way for the time being. Then to loosen up this clamp, we're gonna grab a 7mm socket. Get that nice and loose. Now our mass airflow harness has a clip holding it onto our air box that's kind of tucked down back here, so you just need to follow the harness down to it and grab your clip removal tool. Just pop that out. Once you have that out, you can kind of slide that back. Now once we have that out of the way, we're going to grab our 10mm socket and remove the nut holding our air box to the mounting point. So now we'll get in here and get this nut out. Now we're going to pull up on our air box. It does have 2 grommets holding it in on the back side. They're a little bit stiff. Need to pop the intake tube off. Pull up on that. Remove your air box. Next, we need to disconnect our PCV line from our intake. So all you need to do for that is push in on this gray tab, push back on your connector, pop that out. Next, we'll need to pull up and release our coolant crossover line from our air box. You want to grab it at both the tabs, just pull up on that, pop that out of the way. Now we need to loosen up our throttle body clamp. Now this is a very difficult clamp to see unless you're exactly in this position. It's kind of in a window right here. So we've got our 7mm socket and extension on that. We're just going to loosen that up. Once we have that loose, grab our air box from the driver's side. You want to rotate this 90 degrees while pulling out away from your throttle body. Like this. So once you rotate this up, you want to pull this out. And once we have that out, we're going to need to fully disconnect our PCV line now from our cylinder head. So we're going to again push in on the gray tab, maybe on the back side for this side. Pull that up and out. So now that we have our factory intake off, there's a couple things we need to do before we can install our new setup, a couple of which involve our factory air box. We're going to need to remove the factory mass airflow sensor because we're going to swap that over to our new intake. And one other thing, a lot of times when you pull this air box out, like I said, there's grommets holding these dowels in place. They do tend to come out with the air box and not stay with the vehicle, so we are going to need to pop these off so we can reinstall them onto the vehicle and allow our new intake to sit in these. So these, very simple. I'm just gonna pull off. It can be a little bit stubborn sometimes. Just pop those off. Just set those over here for now. Also, we did recover that push clip from our intake tube. If you did drop it down in there, most likely it's gonna be sitting down in this lower opening where the tube goes into the air box. It's usually just sitting right there, so just make sure you grab that. Now we can remove our mass airflow sensor. So with that, it's held in by 2 T20 Torx screws. So we've got our T20 Torx bit. We're gonna remove that. You wanna be very careful when removing this. You don't wanna damage this in the process. It is expensive. You definitely don't wanna have to replace it if you can help it. So we'll get these screws out. Very carefully remove our sensor. Now we can set our air box aside. All right, so now the first thing we're gonna do is install our mass airflow sensor into our new intake tube. It's gonna go right here. Your kit comes with a foam gasket. You wanna line that up along with your spacer. Get that in place. Then we can take our mass airflow sensor and install it. Now you wanna install it the same direction that it came out of your factory box. So that's gonna be with the connector facing towards the throttle body opening. Slide that down very gently. And we're gonna grab our provided Phillips head screws, get those started in here. We'll take our Phillips head screwdriver and tighten these down. Just want to go until it's nice and snug. I want to alternate sides so it tightens down evenly. Next, we're going to install our PCV bung into our intake tube. So we're going to thread this in. Now you want to get this hand tight. Then once you can't spin it anymore by hand, we're going to give it one full turn with a 19mm wrench. You can't really get a full turn because of the way the tube's shaped. So we've got a ratcheting wrench and we're just going to eyeball it up, but you don't want to go too tight on this. That'll be good for that. Now we're going to install our two coolant crossover brackets onto our intake tube. This one you want to face down towards your PCV bung. We're going to get our two 4mm Allen head bolts with flat washers in place on our mounting bracket. And once we have these in, we're going to tighten it down with our 4mm Allen socket. May need a longer one for this one. We'll tighten this one down as well. Now we'll install our other bracket, again with two 4mm Allen screws, flat washers. We'll tighten these down as well. Alrighty guys, so now that we've got our intake tube set up, we're going to set up our air box as well. And we're going to take those grommets that we pulled off of our factory air box. We're going to stick those on these dowels on our new one. Make sure they sit nice and good. Once we have that done, we're going to come to the opposite side. We need to install our mounting bracket up here. For where our factory air box mounted, we're also going to install a bracket to mount in that factory stud. We've got our bracket. We're going to mount this down towards the bottom of the air box. And again, two more of our 4mm Allen head screws and flat washers. Put the first one in. Put one on. And once again, we'll grab our 4mm Allen socket and tighten these down. Now into this bracket, we're going to install this grommet. Push right into place. Ensure that gets fully seated. And on top of that, we're going to add this metal insert or the crush sleeve. It's going to go in here. All right. Next, we're going to install our grommets that are for our intake itself, as well as our intake tube from factory, and then our backside cover. We'll go over that one in a second. So first we're going to grab this one. You want the flap to be facing in towards the airbox. Now these are a little bit tricky at first to get in, so we want to work from one side and go around. You want to pull that in so it seats fully into its slot. Next we're going to install our intake tube and filter grommet. It's going to go in this circular hole out here. Okay. Now this opening on the outside of your airbox is an optional one you can install or leave open depending on the airflow you want to get. If you want max airflow, you can leave that open. If you live in a warmer climate, you can close that off, or if you just want regular amount of airflow, you can also close it off. It's going to keep the temps down in your airbox a little bit, but again, if you're wanting the most airflow possible, you can leave this out. We'll go ahead and install ours though for demonstration purposes. Now we can get our new airbox into position on the vehicle. So it's going to mount up with those factory dowel locations. Wipe this down. Now we're going to reinstall our 10mm mounting nut onto our factory stud. Get that in. We'll tighten that back down again with our 10mm socket and extension on our impact. Now we'll get our intake tube back in place with our clip. You want to make sure it's going in to that square grommet that we installed previously, which it is. It's kind of hard to see down there. We'll get this clip back in. Now we can drop our filter into our air box. So we've got our clamp on our filter end as well. You want to make sure this is pointing up in an accessible location. For now, we're just going to sit that down in there. Next up, we're going to get our coupler onto our throttle body. Make sure this doesn't pinch or fold. Process of getting it on. Get it fully seated on there. And you want to loosely install your coupler. Clamp, rather. Just going to sit that there for now. Now we're going to get our other clamp on. This is for our intake tube side. It's nice to have these clamp screws facing in the same direction. We're going to bring in our intake tube itself. And we're going to slide this into the air box and then get it mounted on our throttle body coupler. Maybe a little stiff at first. Get our intake tube into our air box. Once you have your air box side in, maneuver intake tube around. Get it onto your throttle body coupler. Again, you want to make sure you don't pinch or crease your coupler in the process. Get that fully seated. Now we're going to tighten down our throttle body coupler clamps with our 8mm socket. We've got them centered up on our coupler. Next, we're going to plug in our mass airflow sensor. Line this up, click that back in, lock our safety tab back down. Now we've got our supplied new line and quick connect clamps for our PCV line. So what we're going to do is pop these into our line, make sure they're seated. Now once you get this first one on, you want to grab your hose clamp, put that down onto your barb. And for these, we're just going to use a flathead screwdriver to tighten these down. Now to tighten these down, you can also use a 1/4-inch socket. Once you got your first side on, you want to do the same thing for the other side. One thing to note for this side, you want to make sure you get your clamp on first. Now we'll install our new PCV hose. We're going to go to the cylinder head first. It's just going to pop into place. And we'll have to route this without kinking it underneath that coolant crossover line. Now you can cut this down to size if you need to, or you can keep it at length and just route it or it'll be okay. Okay. Now we're going to need to move our mounting brackets for our coolant line. This is very easy to do. Just want to take a flathead screwdriver, get it in the front, pop this up. We'll be able to scoot these over, line this one up, set it in. We'll do the same thing for this one. Now we're gonna get our filter onto our intake tube. Slide that on, grab our 8mm socket, tighten down our clamp. May need to grab an extension for this. Now we're gonna install our airbox cover, so we need to get our clear cover into our gasket. Work our way from one corner around. Just be very careful with your clear cover because it is plexiglass and can break. Make sure this recessed corner is at your release tab on your grommet to prevent damage. Once you get that in, set it on our airbox. Now we could reinstall our shroud. So you want to drop this back in. You're gonna have to fiddle with it around your handle. Make sure it sits. And we'll reinstall all of our push clips. Now we'll reinstall our hood release handle. We'll get our T15 screws out of their position. Slide our handle back in place. Reinstall our screws. And we'll tighten them back down with our T15 Torx bit. We're good to go. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our S&B Cold Air Intake with Oiled Cleanable Cotton Filter for your 20 to current 6.6 liter gas Sierra 2500 HD. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Sierra, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.